the way these microphones work. Yep. See, Austin's a veteran.
You had to make out with the microphone.
Love the microphone.
So one of my goals when I first started the podcast was to have a co-host who would sit where Jessica is, and to have the guest there, and where Kelley is, and then where Austin is, have sort of like a floating co-host who would do like 4 or 5 shows or 6 shows. And I sort of had that planned out to be Josh Bridges this week, but something happened.
He flaked.
He's not coming till Friday. He wouldn't say he flaked, in all fairness, but I mean,
end of the day, he flaked.
I think it was just lack of communication. But he'll be here Friday. He can really do no wrong in my eyes. Did you see my post?
Do you have a crush on Josh Bridges?
Crush is strong. But like if he lived next door to me, that would be odd. Would you like him to live next door to you?
I feel like he'd be a really fun character to have as a neighbor.
I mean, he's got a gym in his garage, so that'd be great.
You don't have one?
No.
Oh.
I own a gym a mile from my house.
But still.
That's still far.
What do you do if you're at home and you have to get a workout in and you can't go to the gym?
She does a body weight something.
Yeah.
She always finds a way to
Burpees,
work out.
air squat, push-ups, sit-ups.
Handstand push-ups?
I do in hotels, not at my house anywhere. I never have, at least.
How often do you do a home workout?
Right now, not very often. I think it's more like when I'm traveling and don't have access to a gym, or the hotel gym's not great. It's like you can always get something in.
How come none of you commented on those rings? Oh, maybe you did.
I did,
Yeah,
and I tested
we
them
all
out.
did.
You did? Okay.
Maybe to each other.
That's right. It wasn't anything positive, so I blocked it
And
out.
you said you have done thousands.
Like
you
thousands.
can always get something in.
How come none of you commented on those rings? Oh, wow.
We sound great. We sound pretty great.
Fucking time warp.
My bad. Sorry.
Did you guys ever see those cartoons when you were a kid where someone could throw their voice? Or like TV shows where someone could throw their voice, like I could talk and make it like sound like it's coming from the corner of the room? Do you guys?
Oh, no.
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 And as a kid,
Austin's
I believed
pretending.
that shit was possible. Did you think that was possible when you would see that and you'd be like, oh, I want to learn how to do that?
Yeah, I thought everything I saw on TV was possible.
And real.
Yeah, led to a lot of misconceptions.
I did a podcast with Austin. It was 90 minutes. I think it's the longest one we've done. And we talked about his history from childhood to blossoming into
There's a lot to tell.
blossoming into a man.
Did you see the pictures you showed us last night? There's a lot to tell for sure.
Those pictures won't make it, but people will create their own imagery.
Yeah.
What's your Kelley and
Connection?
Jessica? What's your first encounter with each other? By the way, Austin Malleolo is here as a super guest host. Kelley Jackson is the guest. Jessica Griffith,
Yes.
not Griffin, Griffith
Please, Griffith.
is the guest. And Eric is here like usual.
So 2015, I was currently in Boston. That's how I met Austin. And I was looking to get back to St. Louis. I had just gotten married, and really rough game season. And so I thought team is the way to go.
Meaning you didn't finish where you wanted to.
Yeah, and it just wrecked me, like really wrecked me. And so it was just kind of like I needed to take a step back, have a little bit more fun, and enjoy my first year of marriage. And so I was exploring opportunities to go team. And a couple, the team or the gym that Jessica was at, CrossFit 417 in Springfield, Missouri, I had known the owner, Jared Stevens, and reached out to him, and they coincidentally had one of their females was pregnant, and so they were looking for a third female, and so it was just kind of like the right place, the right time. And so I headed down there, visited the gym, and met everybody, and it was
Jessica already on the team?
Yeah, she had already competed at the games with the team.
Did you have any concern coming from like what was such a hub like Boston and being on a superstar team to like sort of a team of B players?
They're not B players. They're a bunch of very good athletes there. And at that point in time,
2015, Jessica took 456.
oh, he's done his research.
In the Open. In the year before, she took 5,257.
Yeah.
I mean, so C players. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh. Shots fired.
I like this.
I mean, you've already established a name for yourself. People know who you are, except for those of us who confuse you with Rachel Martinez.
Happens regularly.
And I need to see you guys side by side. I know it's going to be like, oh my God, they look nothing alike.
But we're 5'2" and brown haired and short and
okay. Is that why you dyed your hair purple?
Completely. Needed to separate myself, create my own identity.
She should chase you down and do purple.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get on this team.
Yeah.
And are you concerned, all kidding aside, that like, hey, because success is important to you?
100%. I went there, I had seen the team work out. I had been exposed to them. I've seen them at high level competitions. And
did you Google her and look at her placements?
No, I actually didn't have a lot of experience with the females on the team. But at that point in time, honestly, I knew I'd be taking a step back. But I needed it a little bit. I hate the word balance, but I needed that. I needed to go somewhere where the stress and the pressures of competing wasn't as high.
What's your husband do that he can move, just pick up and go from Boston to St. Louis?
So he didn't. He stayed in St. Louis and ran our gym.
This is the craziest part of their relationship, the first year of their marriage. It blows my mind every time.
So I went to Boston on my own, had an amazing opportunity at Reebok and Reebok CrossFit One.
And how often would you see your husband?
Our goal was once a month, and it turned into probably every 6 or 8 weeks.
Were there guys just hitting on you nonstop? Or
everybody's married in CrossFit.
Okay. Thank you, Austin.
No. I don't think I present myself that way.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but we'll go with it.
You don't present yourself as single and prowling. Yeah. I don't think you present yourself as prowling at all.
Right.
But yeah, and if you scratch the surface, you hear about your husband.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he's back in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. You do a year in Boston with the team.
Well, I was individual in Boston. Which was an amazing experience.
And what did you place that year in the games?
Not well. Bottom 30.
Okay.
I think Austin and I finished the same. So what did you finish?
Wow, misery does want company.
No. We're like the same person when it comes to. Yeah, that might be.
I think Austin's 5'3".
Yeah.
But his hair did used to be purple.
Probably. Yeah. It was one of those moments where like the regional workouts are released, and it was, if Austin qualifies, I qualify. And then when the games workouts are released, we pass each other, and it's like, we're fucked in this workout. Or it's like, you got this. Do you have a good deadlift like this guy? It's of my weightlifting. It's one of my better lifts.
So yesterday we were talking, or a couple days ago, we were talking about your wingspan. Yeah. And I was telling that guy who was at my house last night, that giant guy was showing me, Alex Matthews was showing me a video of him deadlifting 490. I'm like, wow, I mean, that's crazy, right? And then I tried to slip in there without being a dick and squashing his moment. I was like, well, this guy Austin's coming tonight, and he deadlifted 570. And he knew who you were. And he goes, yeah, but his geometry makes that easier for him. And I'm thinking, I don't think so, but does it?
Yeah, so it's the bar doubles less distance.
Okay.
Right? Now, with that said, it's the only movement that long arms benefits.
Okay.
Everything else is a massive detriment.
How about wall ball?
It's everything, because think about it, anything that's super hip mediated that has to hold above the deadlift position or push anywhere, it's a longer range of motion.
What was the term used? Hip?
Mediated.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I gotta throw these long, dangly, weak arms over that. I don't want to do that.
Can you throw a baseball hard?
No. My core strength expression is pretty poor.
Oh, you would think it could be amazing, right?
Yeah. A lot of people ask me if I'm a boxer.
Uh-huh.
Because of my reach. No. Whenever I got to squat today,
You seem more like a biter and nail eye gouger to me.
I got it to the ground and just used every tool in the book to try to win, but usually I lost my fight.
Let's throw this out there real quick. Kelley won the deadlift regional workout this year. She's a fantastic deadlifter.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
You didn't?
My heat. Brooke beat me by a minute.
Oh, well, she got second, right?
Yeah.
Brooke who?
Wells.
Oh, that's good company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great company.
A year in Boston individual. Husband goes back to St. Louis to run a gym.
So I'm in St. Louis. Husband's in St. Louis. We own a gym there,
because you leave
CrossFit
Boston
Gambit.
after being away for a year. You come back.
And then I qualify for the games out of St. Louis, go to Boston, the training grounds,
Okay.
meet Austin. I have an interest in coaching and learning more, developing my coaching skills. So express to him that I have an interest in pursuing more. And so a job opportunity comes off of my first year at the games, 2014. So I go to the games, come home, pack up my bags, and a couple weeks later head to Boston. My husband stays in St. Louis. And so then I spent about just under a year and a half in Boston, and then moved back to Missouri.
Living sort of the complete CrossFit lifestyle, training with world-class CrossFitters, working at Reebok CrossFit One, and just
living with Jen Smith and Sammy Moniz, also known as Matt Fraser's girlfriend.
Okay.
So like
And
all
manager,
CrossFit. All
and
the
security
time.
blanket.
Yes.
And best friend.
Yes.
And she's his everything.
She's everybody's everything.
I tried to wedge between them. Do you know when Matt came in here and did the interview? She came in too. She sat right there. He
She's
just
the
brought her
best.
and sat
She
her
is
down.
the best.
Yeah, well, I wasn't saying it as a compliment.
Well, that
But
says,
you
that
weren't
says
mad
more
about
about
it.
Matt than it does Sammy.
It's kind of like I was like almost like, Sammy, get the fuck out. But I could see Matt's so like he would have left too.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's Matt's way or the highway, which it's cool. And it was a great interview. He was good.
Good.
Sorry.
No. So
So
I
you
mean,
lived with
that's
Sammy,
the story. Lived with Sammy.
Did Matt ever come over?
They were not together when I first moved there, and then I would like to say like Austin might have played a role in the development of that relationship. Matt came to Reebok CrossFit One for the Event One announcement against Rich Froning, and
When
Matt-
he walks in the doors of Reebok, does he start to melt and wither like the wicked witch of the West, like or like that guy who looks at the Ark and Raiders of the Lost Ark, start melting? His Metcons catch on fire. Did he come in his Nike all swooshed out? Okay. 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 So the part that I didn't know it was your name, but what I heard was Sammy said this, that someone gave Matt Sammy's number and said, yo, call this lady. Was that you? Okay. And maybe he said that and I missed that. And that he never called her. And that so she just took the initiative and texted him and was like, let's do this. And there was just chemistry and texting
that went on for a while.
yeah. And that's when you were living with her.
Yeah.
Did you guys coach her?
Jen Smith and I are not two people to give relationship advice, probably.
Like the other day you guys coached me. I showed you that video of my dog biting my baby. And you guys are like, don't post it.
Yeah.
Don't post it. Don't. I mean, I still posted it on my Rinsta. on my Rinsta.
What's a Rinsta?
That's like my real Instagram account.
Okay.
With 17 followers.
Yeah.
Or 12 followers or something. That's where you post stuff like your baby getting bitten by your dog. I mean, it's not a real bite.
Right.
Right.
Didn't break the skin.
No.
Just for the record.
No Jessica needed.
No Jessica needed.
Okay, so man, I feel like there's a lot of meat on the bone. Let's stick with Matt and Sammy for a second.
Okay.
Did Matt ever come over to the house when you were there in that year? Like, did you see any of the courtship?
No. Well, I mean, like, we were part of like the text messages and the phone calls, but beyond that, it was just the beginning of the relationship. And so I don't think he was ever at the apartment.
So he
was
like
in
never
Vermont.
he never came to the house and you and Jen had a chance to poach him, like be like, oh shit, Matt's coming over. I'm
No.
putting this on and I'm gonna have on my phone my best performance at the games, kind of just watching it, and there was none of that. There was no opportunity to poach Matt. All right.
They were pretty private with their relationship.
Okay. He's private as I had him in here
Yeah.
asking about his moving to Cookeville, and he didn't really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Or when I asked him how much Nike paid him, he didn't want to talk about that either. That's weird.
How dare
Wonder
you.
why.
Do you know how much he gets paid by Nike?
No.
Did Sammy divulge that?
No. I get the other information, but not that.
Okay. Oh,
Want me to text her?
yes. Ask for a photo. Okay, so you're living there, Jen, Sammy, coaching, games athlete, super excited to go to the games.
Yeah.
You go to the games.
Yeah.
You're done with the games, and you beeline back to St. Louis?
No, I spent a couple months still in Boston trying to decide like what to do. Spend some more time coaching and less time being an athlete. Reebok CrossFit One was really accepting to us training for the games. Our schedule was deloaded a lot, so we were able to train and treat that like our full-time job. But when I returned back after the games, it was like I owe the rest of the coaches some time and energy and let them relax a little bit. And in that time, it was having the conversation with my husband, deciding on what was next. Do I want to continue on as an individual and go to the games and place 35th? Do I want to take a year off and have some more fun? And then it was, well, what about team?
How old are you?
33.
Can you take a year off? Can a 33-year-old take a year off?
That's
She
why I
can.
went team.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that was the right thing. I think I got fitter as a 33-year-old going team. I think I was more fit going into that game season, and I had some regrets about not going individually. But, you make choices, and I think lifestyle-wise, it was the right choice to make at the right time. But
When you wouldn't see your husband for 6 to 8 weeks, and then you guys would come together, was there a difficulty in the re-entry period?
no, it was almost like every time you see each other, it's the honeymoon phase because you're separated for so long. And I'm not a phone talker, so and neither is he. We understand that, like, I love him, he loves me. I don't need to be on the phone with you 24 hours a day. So I'm here for 36 hours. And
so neither of you have any OCD or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because re-entry can be difficult in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like you're apart even for like a week, and you come back, and it's like, where's my mail? Where's this? Where's that? And like you're like, holy shit! Next thing you know, there's friction between you and someone you love, and you're like, how did I get here? But it's really just you're kind of your.
I think it was a pretty healthy separation. We had been together at that point in time about 6 years, and so going long distance really allowed us to start to have conversations again. Like you start to send emails and text messages and have a few more phone conversations. And so that year and a half apart, I think we grew more and learned to appreciate like other things outside of getting to wake up next to each other every single day.
Are you married, Jessica?
I'm not.
No. Or do you have a boyfriend?
I've got a boyfriend.
Oh.
My sweet Tony.
Gary, she has a boyfriend. He's like, dude, in 4 months, I'm like, dude, she has a boyfriend. Relax.
Are there any single CrossFit Games athletes, with the exception of Dan Bailey?
And Brooke Wills.
Oh,
Is she single?
She's single. She's single and ready to mingle. Just saying.
When Dan was in here, I think it was like obvious he had the hots for her. But people tell me he has the
Why
hots
wouldn't
for someone
you?
else. Right.
She is beautiful.
Right.
And really good at CrossFit. And a great person.
And smart.
And smart.
But really difficult to interview.
Really?
I think.
Is
she difficult to talk to when you hang out with her?
No, we're like real close.
Like even when you're talking on the phone, you can talk to her on the phone?
Oh, I don't know that we've had like a phone conversation where it's like, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? We text a lot. We were texting this morning. I was asking her about her trip to Boston.
Did you write notes in high school?
Yes.
You did, like, pass notes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just feel like texting is.
Yeah.
I used to love writing notes, pass them to people in the hallways. That shit was cool.
And then you fold it up really neat, and then you get all the gel pens to make it really pretty.
I didn't do so much of that, but I did fold it up really neat.
I was all about it.
Meanwhile, when Austin was in high school, he was sharpening plastic knives and shit to shanks. Okay, so you get to the gym,
417.
and there's a pregnant chick there who's going to vacate the spot for you. You don't even have to try out. You're now going from maybe not being. Were you the worst person on the team in Boston? Where did you fall?
She was an individual.
Individually.
Sorry.
I was not last place at the games.
Right, and we talked about this too. It's just tragic. Even if you took 30th at the games, it's still like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, that would kill 99.99999% of the people to have to do what you did at the games in 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you show up to this team, and are you the big dog? Are you the best person on the team?
She's the big dog for sure.
Yeah. In terms of experience,
Fitness.
best Fran
Yeah.
time,
Fitness and experience.
wisest, yeah.
I think so. But you're also walking into somebody else's gym, somebody else's team that has had experience at the games. So there
And who
needs
is
to
that?
be
Who
a
is that?
level. It's Jared Stevens' gym and his team. So there has to be a
And-
level of communication and respect to make it work.
And the name of the gym?
CrossFit 417.
Okay.
So it was having Kelley on the team was the second year that we would have qualified for the game. So we qualified the year before.
Okay.
So that's what attracted Kelley to the gym.
And did you guys
think.
compete? You
Yeah.
qualified and competed.
We qualified and
Okay.
competed in the 2015 games, and then that's when we kind of built our resume, so where it caught Kelley's attention. So she came to join us for the 2016 season.
Okay. And then you guys competed on the team together in 2016.
Yeah.
And was that the plan to compete together on the team in 2017 also?
No. Had we won the games, it might have been a different story. But early on, I knew that team isn't necessarily for me. So it was like finish this year and then reevaluate for 2017. But likely you'll go individual.
Did you have any meltdowns while on the team?
Yeah. I mean, when you get 6 people at a high level competing, it's stressful. There's a lot
Anything
of
so hurtful said that it couldn't be repaired?
So
Yes.
yeah,
I tried to stay out of it, but
So people constantly ask, how's team? And I always say, when you get to this level of CrossFit attracts very alpha personalities. It's a very special kind of person. So when you put 6 of those personalities on one team, it's very, very hard to have a 100% peaceful, successful training year. And so we kind of, at CrossFit 417, the beauty of that gym is it's the competitors' gym in town. So there are a lot of athletes there that are high level competing athletes. And so there were more than just 3 girls and 3 boys to choose on the team, more so the boys' side. So it wasn't, the final decision for the team wasn't made yet when Kelley came. There were 4, 5, 6 boys that were in the running to take those 3 spots. So when you have...
Do you think that's disrespectful to call them boys? No, I'm just joking. Just fucking...
Men.
That was a joke, right, Austin? Okay, good.
And
So tell me about the boys. There's 5 boys competing for 3 spots.
So, Jared Stevens owns the gym. And then the previous year was Seth Conley and Austin Cahoy that were on the team. But then we had Tyler Christoffel and then Tony Splaney, who's my current boyfriend. They were also, and Seth Matlock you could throw in there.
we're throwing names out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So your boyfriend was one of the candidates.
Was one of the candidates.
Okay.
And so there were different opinions on who the 3 boys should be. And that was the very beginning of Tony and I's relationship. And so there were questions because I thought Tony should be on the team. And purely for fitness reasons, if I had it my
not as a bed warmer at the
not
games?
as a bed warmer, no.
Right.
And I personally would prefer not to compete with my boyfriend because I don't want our relationship. I just don't want to I don't want to shit where I eat, But
kiss where you eat.
Kiss where I eat, I guess. Yeah.
Kiss where you shit. Okay. I turned it into a triplet. I should have left it a couplet. I'm sorry. Okay, go on.
Yeah. So there were, different opinions, and that causes, a little bit of. I know.
Oh,
I don't know how to.
Thank you. I was just like, okay, you really like
dug a
Jessica.
hole.
Go easy. Go careful, Sevi.
No.
I would say
So
that
what was said?
our women at that gym were fucking studs.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I would go as far as saying we had the 3 best women on the field at the CrossFit Games.
Who was the third one?
We
besides you
won
two?
the women's workout.
Yeah, anytime the women were competing separately, we destroyed the field.
And who is the third woman?
Kelley Nicholas. Oof, love her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I see her?
We'll pull her
Kelley
up.
Nicholas.
Kelley
Yeah.
Nicholas, stud athlete.
So you have these 5 guys. They're competing. What was the criteria that they picked? Narrowed it down to 3.
that was also kind of up there. Should we do the open? Should we do performances in the gym? Should we do experience? Like there were all these variables that just made it so confusing for everybody.
Who gets the final word? The gym owner?
The owner.
Yeah.
And does everyone respect that?
No.
So, that's a problem. So the question that started this was, were hurtful things said? I had automatically thought it would be during training or at the games or at the regionals, but you're saying even the start was a bit rocky.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and it got to the point where a decision had to be made. And unfortunately, like friendships got involved, which sucks because CrossFit, it's fitness. It's like, we don't need to get, why bring this into personal relationships? Fortunately, the game training went, the team was decided, we went to the games, things were rocky after the games, but since then relationships have certainly been mended, which is what I wanted to get at is like there were, so yeah, that's Kelley Nicholas right here.
On the far left. Okay.
Yeah. She's doing HOA with Jen Dancer, Austin Coy, and Seth Conley. But
I don't know.
Yeah. But
Home
point being,
Owners Association.
Point being is
HOA.
Heart of America, Jeremy Myers competition,
Oh, okay.
team competition.
Heart of America. Okay.
Great competition.
Let's
Sells
see
out
like
in seconds.
all of her pictures. She's like weird looking. She's got a costume on or a filter or something. Can we see one where she's like just like smoking a cigarette, hanging
The
out?
running joke with Kelley, she never takes her shirt off. Like this picture here. Everyone's shirtless except Kelley, but she's so jacked and she's an amazing athlete. She's actually qualified for regionals individually, I want to say twice.
So she's the opposite of most CrossFitters.
Right.
I think so.
People should
My
always
experience at the games was kind of one of those, or going team was, you learn a lot of lessons, and my advice to anybody going team now is you really need to
I recognize her. Okay.
Yeah. You really need to
Now that she has her shirt off, I know her.
Kelley, take your shirt off.
You really need to like the people and respect your team more than you need to be good at fitness. Like 6 really great athletes is great, but if you don't get along, when shit hits the fan, you won't be able to rely on one another.
Isn't there some irony there? Because what Jessica is saying is someone was brought onto the team, if I understand correctly, someone was brought onto the team that maybe wasn't the best choice, but because they were friends with the right person, which then rubbed some other people the wrong way, which caused friction, which damaged the group. So you guys went into the games a bit damaged?
Yeah, for sure.
And was there a leader that could have like squashed that on your team? Like shouldn't have Kelley as the veteran?
So I think the problem was like there was the men and then there were the women, and there was no like mending of the fences across genders. So it was oftentimes like women versus men. And so by the games, it was just like, let's just get this over with and survive the weekend. And,
I think everyone was a little emotionally drained. Yeah.
So.
And then when you guys came back, did you guys have did time mend the fences?
Or? I mean, I went back to Gambit, my gym, and went into individual mode immediately and offered. Jess was a stud athlete back then.
Who?
Jessica.
Okay.
And it was her boyfriend at the time was also looking for a change, and it was like, my husband and I have a gym in St. Louis. We're both coaches. You both have potential.
What's the name of your gym again?
CrossFit Gambit.
Okay.
And you both have amazing potential. We think you can both be individual athletes. St. Louis is open. We're open for you if you want to make the move.
How far from where you're at?
3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
So you made the move.
So yeah, I made the move. Decided I wanted
just to train to train with Kelley.
Exactly.
To try to get some of the Kelley mojo to go as an individual.
Yeah. So
did you really think you had the potential to go as an individual?
That was when I started CrossFit now 4 years ago, the goal was always to go individually. So did team for 2 years, and I did team in 2015. Even when 2016 rolled around, that's the year I wanted to go individually. But then we had the opportunity to compete with Kelley, and my perspective on it was I have a really nice opportunity, 1, to get to know Kelley, and 2, train side by side with someone who has been to the games individually. So decided to continue to go team for a second year to just get that experience. And so then when 2016 ended, I was like, okay, definitely 2017 is my time to go individually. And things like
I mean, you did amazing in the Open in 2016.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Well, so
and how did you do in 2017?
I think
The games page didn't have the stat updated. I
2016 Open.
I apologize.
I think I did. I did qualify for regionals individually in 2016.
It looks like you must have.
Yeah.
You finished 97th in the world in the Open.
Okay.
And do you know what you finished in the Open in the world in 2017?
It wasn't top 40. I know that.
Okay. Was it top 100?
Yeah.
Okay. So you
I think I want to say it was like 80s maybe.
So you did a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold that thought for a second. When I fight with someone verbally, I try to say things that won't damage them.
Yeah.
Like, you're a fucking asshole.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that. Now you know I'm mad at
Something
you.
you won't regret later.
Yeah. Now you know I'm mad at you, but I haven't said, hey, you've been late. You're lazy, and you've always been lazy since as long as I've known you, and you're never going to amount to shit. That's
that's a dagger.
Yeah. Right. Like, you don't say that to your husband or your wife.
Right.
I mean, that's like, unless you want out of the relationship or something. Were things like that said? I mean, things that were irreparable, like going back to the team thing? Was it like things that were being said that were like, oh shit? Like, I'm confused. You guys work so hard to go to the games and to go there and not like have gone
and
it
is a dream come true, and that's why it was like really unfortunate that this all was happening.
Yeah,
it's like heartbreaking.
You guys should have been huddling up and
Exactly.
hugging. And
I think that's something that's not talked about, because I guarantee half of the teams that go into the games do not get along.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
There's 6 people. It's not all rainbows and unicorns. Like, it is harder than it looks, and I think that's part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know.
team
Austin
series,
went
the
this
team
year.
series this year is
Austin,
just 2 participants.
way easier to manage.
Yeah, way easier.
Are
But,
you guys
like,
getting along now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We've always gotten along. Like, it was
Okay.
never a conflict of us or the women.
Not jealous at all when she made the games and you didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
right.
But it's CrossFit. Like, I can't hate her for having a good weekend or for being amazing. Like, yeah, like, it was me against myself, and it wasn't my weekend.
Mm-hmm. It was super interesting because going into the weekend, like, I called my mom before the weekend happened. And
Going into the 2017 regionals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What number were you at your regional on your arm?
Oh God, really? I have no clue.
You know why that's important?
It's right
Because
behind you.
you do?
It's behind me.
For regionals?
17. We need 2017.
Sorry.
Here's why it's important. That number on your arm is your ranking at that regional. So if you were 4, you went in the 4th fittest. And I'm curious who went in.
She was before me. She finished higher in the Open than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry. Now we
So
have the stage
Kelley, all year long, like, my training for 2017, the reason I was as successful as I was because Kelley kicks my butt in the gym every day. She beats me 9 out of 10 workouts, no problem. And so, yeah, she beat me in the Open. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, so when we got to regionals, I called my mom. And
She'll correct you when you're wrong. Just flow.
I got that.
Just flow.
I did not expect to qualify for the games this year, but going into the weekend, I knew there was a chance. I knew I would probably be top 8-ish. Going into the weekend, I called my mom. I'm like, I swear to God, if I qualify and Kelley doesn't, like, it's going to break my heart. Like, it's going to suck. Because I know how competitive Kelley is. Kelley is a phenomenal athlete because she's so competitive. I tell everyone this, and she's almost too competitive to a fault, but that's what makes her a great athlete. She hates losing, so she'll kill herself to win. So when...
And you were saying that yesterday off the air, we were talking and you were like, hey man, I might lack fucking talent or whatever, but I'm not afraid to go into the pain cave and fucking grind.
Right.
Okay,
She
go on,
loves
just say it.
hurting.
Yep.
So when...
Go back to that picture of Kelley, by the way. I want to ask her something about it when we're done. The one that was actually being used by CrossFit. It's a fucking amazing photo. Okay, go on. So you talk to your mom. You tell her you don't.
Yeah. So then it happened. I qualified and she didn't. And it was like, when they announced my name for 5th place, like,
And what place did Kelley take?
7th.
How close were you going into the final event?
I was probably out. I mean, I was out of it, like,
Mathematically.
No excuses, was sick over the weekend. And so I don't think from event 1, I mentally checked out. Just what you shouldn't do as an athlete. I was like, I'm sick. I don't know how to overcome this. And rather than grind, I like used every excuse in the book of why I was going slower. So
But she still finished 7th, which is so impressive.
Yeah, amazing. That's you right there in that photo?
yeah,
How come it got dark? That doesn't even look like you to me.
it was California. I was tan. I live in Missouri. I'm never out in the sun.
All right. What ethnicity are you?
No idea. I'm a mutt.
All right. But everyone always says, "Hey, you're Italian."
Yeah.
So you're in the final event.
Mm-hmm.
You go into the final event in what place?
I think I was in 5th.
So you just had to hang tight.
So Katie Trombetta and I were in contention.
She was in 6th,
She was in 6th.
and 4th was too far away.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I knew
We
I
need
had to.
Jonathan Haynes
I knew
in
I
here.
had to kill myself to get qualify.
Okay.
So when they called my name, it was one of the most bittersweet moments in my entire life. Because
It was that sprinting event,
It was the sandbag, burpee,
and you carry the
Assault bike. Yeah.
assault. Yeah,
you
assault
carry,
bag.
you carry something heavy across the finish line
Yeah.
at the end.
The sandbag.
When you finished, do you know that you qualified?
They announced it shortly after. I didn't know
You
if
didn't
Katie
know.
and I didn't know who would take 5th.
They announce you as the winner. Do you run over and
So I took my second to my year was successful. My year of hard work and tears because I was working full time all year. It's a very stressful year. It had paid off. Immediately then it's like my heart breaks and look over and see Kelley and I start crying because it's literally heartbreaking. She took me in under her wing, kicked my ass all year long. And then we get to the final weekend where we're supposed to perform and we're teammates and it's all the hard work and effort that she poured into me, I couldn't enjoy that with her. And it was just literally I couldn't even enjoy qualifying because it's she's not there with me and she's the reason that I qualified. It sucked. It really freaking sucked.
It's a very difficult position to be in. For me, it's more it's about myself and the disappointment over the weekend. And I've been to the games and you want them to enjoy it. But I mean, it is bittersweet and it's
is
tough.
it emotional now, like right now as we're talking about it?
Yeah. And I think it will always be emotional because I know how fit I was this year. But it's CrossFit and it's, you gotta show up, you gotta pay to play, you gotta earn the spot, whatever day, weekend, your regionals assigned, you gotta prove yourself every day in and day out. And it's not about what you do in your own gym, it's about what you do at the competition that matters. And she came to play. She was a stud.
Jessica Griffith, the fittest nurse in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Who is this? How close was second?
I want to say Megan Scales. She's an athlete in our region. I think she got second.
And is this the first year we did the fittest nurse in the world?
Yep.
And do you have a plaque or something that says that? Did they
No,
send
I
you
wish I
something?
did.
Reebok,
And I want to rally.
Reebok didn't send a shirt that says fittest nurse. Can you get her one, Austin? You worked there, right?
I snagged one of the medical staff shirts at the games.
And then just Sharpie in
Yeah.
fittest. How and so there's a fittest male nurse also.
Which I don't know who it is.
Okay, and he didn't make it to the games.
I don't think, at least.
You know,
I'm sorry if you're out there listening.
you know, Cara Webb is with the fittest firefighter in Australia.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I also want to make one point real quick.
Yes, please.
Patrick Vellner's in school right now. That is way more impressive than being the fittest nurse on earth, by the way. I don't think he gets enough credit for being in chiropractor school full time and being a really, really impressive CrossFit
Wait, he's in
Games athlete.
chiropractor school?
Yes.
Isn't that an oxymoron? Seriously, you go to the chiropractor and they have 3 moves, and it's all the chiropractors
I'd like to
have
have
the
him in
same,
here.
It depends
right?
on who the chiropractor is you're seeing, but
They
Mine's
have
a
that.
magician.
They have. Pardon me.
my chiropractor is a magician.
Okay, well, I feel like they have like 3 moves. They do that thing where you lie down, they twist you, and you put your knee up
It's
by your
still
chest,
medical
and they
school,
crack
though.
you. And then they have that steel. They have that steel gun thing that taps on you. Oh, you think in Canada chiropractic schools just put rub some THC on it or CBD or whatever that stuff is?
But point being, it's like I found CrossFit after nursing school. I could not have done what I do now in nursing school with CrossFit. There's no way. And so I just want to give him credit because that's really, really impressive.
I think so. I don't know if this has ever been said.
Noted, but not believed.
And I don't know if anybody's ever said this out loud, but I think a lot of people out there
You could be
buy
related to him.
boxes.
Me?
A lot of people could be what?
A lot of people buy or start CrossFit affiliates or CrossFit coach because they think it's an easy access to train all day. And I don't think affiliate owners and CrossFit coaches get enough credit for their professions. And through CrossFit they do, but I think it is really fucking hard to own an affiliate and to train and to be a coach, because all day long you not only have to enjoy your job as a coach and love CrossFit and send that message, but like you have to be able to then go from standing and coaching for 3 hours to turn over and train. And in your training session, you have members walking in the door middle of Fran that are like, hey, can you tell me about CrossFit? And you're like, yes, I can. And so I don't think a lot of coaches, affiliate owners get enough credit for like the difficulty it is to manage doing both of those.
I want to jump on that bandwagon too and say what's even crazier than that, in my opinion, is that you really are, she's a nurse, Jessica's a nurse here, and I'm stealing Greg Glassman's metaphor, but she is a lifeguard. You are a fucking swim coach. People should be coming to you. They do not want Jessica.
Right.
That's why I'll never be a coach at Kelley's gym.
You know what I mean? Like what you're doing is really the she and I apologize, Jessica, but I don't mean this in a mean way at all, because it's for 30% of the people who come into the ER, you're godsend. For 70%, she's a fucking Band-Aid on their problem. Exactly. And like what she really knows, she can't even tell them. Right? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You can't be like, hey dude, stop drinking soda and don't eat bread for a month and this shit'll go away and you will never have to come back in here again. She could give them that advice. You get to say that. And by the way, there's people in this country who are trying to make it so it's illegal for you to say that.
Yeah.
And make you have to take more classes and like to give nutritional advice. That's a whole nother show. We got to get Greg in here for that. Yeah, it's insane what you do. It's insane. It's amazing. Hey, you should. I guess you are just in the ER, right?
I am.
Hey, man,
but I've done other stuff. Why? What do you think?
I'm just thinking because there are a cadre of doctors, and Greg is building this team of doctors slowly but surely. And we know we predict that there's 20,000 doctors who are members at CrossFit gyms around the world.
I mean, we have half a dozen at least.
Right. So there you go. So that number 20,000 is really low.
Yeah.
If there's 14,000 gyms. And each gym has 2 doctors, that's 28,000 doctors. It's those doctors that need to be prescribing CrossFit.
Yeah.
You know, those nurses.
Well, our friend at breakfast this morning was just saying that Jordan Feigenbaum is a mind
What's his last name?
Feigenbaum. It's all the Jewish.
Feigenbaum.
Yeah.
Pooh, that must have he fought in the yard.
But he was saying this morning that 3% of doctors prescribe actual physical activity as part of the medication regimen. 3%.
I haven't been to a doctor in years, but I went to a doctor once early in my CrossFit career, and I remember asking him something about nutrition, and he says diet has nothing to do with it.
Crazy.
I only go to doctors that do CrossFit.
Yeah.
It happens a referral network, essentially, just so, hey, I know you go to a CrossFit gym and you do, your doctor, can you recommend this person? And it's great because the conversation's actually educated, forward thinking, and it's progressive.
How many people get injured in your gym? Not like in your gym, but come to your gym and they're like, playing baseball last night, I sprained my ankle or something. And the doctor said, I need to put my membership on pause because the doctor said I can't CrossFit for 6 weeks. Bullshit.
Insane.
The best thing you can do is come back in here and we will make sure you're okay.
Every time I see those people with those braces on their knees, I feel so where they've had surgery and the doctor's telling them that they shouldn't bend their knee. I feel so sorry for them because I know the one thing that's happening. They're losing mobility that they're never, ever going to get back. And my wife had several knee surgeries, and finally we just took that brace off. Once the wound healed, we took that knit brace off and just started working it, and then go to the doctor's appointment, put the brace back on. And you know what the doctor said? Oh my God, I've never seen someone with such mobility after taking the brace off. I mean, there's so many things that they prescribe that are for safety and not intelligence, right? Yeah, it's a tragedy. I'm sure you see it every day. Speaking of every day, tell me about your work. How do you do that? You don't actually stay at one hospital?
So I'm a travel nurse. I work for an agency, not a hospital.
Okay.
And so when I was living in Springfield, when Kelley was on our team, I was a full-time nurse at a hospital.
Okay.
When I got the opportunity to move up to St. Louis, I've always wanted to be a travel nurse. And when I moved to St. Louis, I wasn't sure that was necessarily going to be a permanent move. So travel nursing's perfect because I can take 3-month contracts. So the hospital hires through the agency who contacts me and says, hey, St. Louis University Hospital needs an extra nurse. So I go sign a 3-month contract. Well, the first 3 months in St. Louis was fantastic. So I just kept signing 3-month contracts up until regionals. So I think I worked from September to May.
And what's a work schedule look like for you? Like a work
It's
day?
3
work
12-hour
week?
shifts a week. Usually a nurse works 7A to 7P or 7P to 7A. Fortunately, in the ER operates 24 hours. So there's other shifts. So originally I was working 3P to 3A. I'd go home be sleeping by 4 a.m. and wake up at 10.
When you were on the team, was everyone working around your schedule?
No. There's a couple of people. There was Seth Conley's a pharmacist, and Austin Cahoy was working at a vitamin shop or GNC or something.
Did he ever offer you guys any drugs?
No. No, he did not. He's a very good pharmacist. So
Kelley?
we all
No,
have...
no.
All right.
I should speak up. No.
No.
Can a pharmacist prescribe drugs? No.
No. I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
They just have the license to hand them out, and they check the doctor's DEA number to make sure it's all legit
Okay.
and not someone with a fake prescription walking in. Anyways, but yeah, there were a couple of people on the team who had jobs, so we all, and that's the other thing. It's hard to coordinate 6 schedules. It's really difficult. So right now I'm working 11A to 11P, which is nice because I go work out with Kelley in the morning before a shift.
Is your goal to go back to the games?
Yeah.
Are you getting better?
I think so. So I think this
Is she
year...
She's
better?
getting a lot better.
Yeah.
Her today from a year ago, like night and day.
Yeah. I think this year her husband does our programming, Andrew Essig. He really honed in on skills this year. And so I think this upcoming season will be more...
Skills, meaning handstand walk?
Meaning ring muscle ups.
And like quality of movement.
Yeah.
You know, a
Oh,
year
yeah.
ago, Jess
You
could
just come over to the
clean
house. if you wanna do ring
250
muscle-ups.
pounds,
Come on
but
over.
you watch it like with your hands over your eyes, and it's just like her quality of movement has improved tremendously.
Gotcha. She's gone from Sam Briggs to
To Jessica
You said
Griffith.
that.
to Kelley Jackson. Can we
Let's not
see
use me as quality standard.
Jessica's hang clean? Do we have that from
I
Twitter?
haven't posted a...
Have you guys compared notes on running an affiliate? Is that something you guys talk about when you guys run into each other?
Not too much. Since she went back home, she's been cranking. I've been cranking, but obviously when we were together at Reebok, we just shared best practices, and that's just happened because of the nature of where she was coaching and then where she is now. So I think that we probably, and she's going to be coming up in about a week or so, and have some time for some transmission there.
Are you coming up to get away from Jessica?
Yeah.
Look at this.
This was when I was strong. I am not this strong right now.
225 pounds. What is this? Yeah.
I don't know. Her husband had us
I can't
lifting.
deadlift that some days.
Her husband had us lifting really heavy for the winter season, and I got really freaking strong. I could not. There's no way I could do that right now.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It was 2 hang cleans at 220. Blech.
Do you guys know when you're supposed to rest as opposed to when you're supposed to work out? Do you guys have that figured out for yourselves?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I asked Matt that same question. He said he had no idea.
I mean, a lot of it is listening to your body, but like I have a training regimen that I try to stick with more consistently in season. And I would say in season is like when you're prepping for the CrossFit Open. So I'm in season now, but it's still a little bit more casual. Like yesterday
You are in season now?
No, casually. Like we roll in yesterday and hop off a plane and do Laredo. Like that's not on my programming.
Okay.
If I'm in season, I'm like, let's go
Are
to a
you
gym and make sure I'm hitting the things that I need to hit.
Are you sore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of push-ups.
Yeah.
A lot of lunges.
Are you sore?
Austin's never sore.
You do. Austin won, right?
He did. He crushed it.
I really wish I would have got a picture
But
of you
we needed
guys.
we need a video of his range of motion.
Really?
It was questionable.
Is he
Supposedly.
notorious?
No, he usually moves really well.
James was giving him a
He
hard
was trying to
time.
make us nervous yesterday.
I asked James yesterday, I said, do you ever get tired and want to walk? He goes, this workout, I was really considering walking. Is that true? Was he?
Yeah. He was moving.
If he, people always, since Mayhem won those 2 championships, it was like, holy shit, Rich really is connected to God. He just fucking giving him win after win. If this guy goes on another team and that team wins, I think it'll be clear that Hobart was the.
That's true. It's something to bring up what Kelley kind of mentioned earlier with the team stuff.
Mhm.
You look at Rich's team, and I'll tell people this too, and I don't know from an insider's perspective, from an outsider's perspective, it's super interesting to watch Mayhem because on paper, their boys are phenomenal, but their girls are not necessarily the 3 top girls in the world. But they're they have one leader. No one's going to tell Rich no. And they have one communicator, one leader, and they all listen to one person. And I think that's the secret to their success. Is it's unbelievable to watch. It's like they have one system, one way, and no one questions that. It's super important to team, I think.
I think that's very well said.
Yeah.
Is that true, what she said, Austin? From what you know, the insight you have?
Yeah, it's a strong leader.
Do you think the women on his team suck too?
Kristen, Ellie, Lindy, I love you.
They're fit, but there's not many human beings to search it.
Yeah. Are there?
There's
Dot,
one.
dot, dot.
There's at least one. There's at least one. I think we've covered good ground.
Yeah.
You guys happy? You guys have any parting words you want to? Oh, this picture. Who took that picture?
I don't know, but I love it so much.
Yeah, that's an amazing photo of you. And how did
thank
it
you.
become part of your profile? Did you post that? Or does CrossFit do
What
that
picture
for
I think
you?
CrossFit did it.
Really?
Yeah.
If you want to begin in 2016, they roughly 17 profiles with pictures of the previous.
Wow, we kick ass.
Mhm.
That's an amazing photo.
Thank you. I
Dave-
love it. I don't know who
Oh,
took
yeah.
it, but whoever did, thank
We'll
you.
give Dave Ray the credit.
So
Default to
this-
him.
this
He runs
is-
our photography department.
Awesome, because this was the first event, and I ended up winning, which I don't know how that happened, because Kelley smashed me
I
in
don't know
practice.
either.
Yeah, Kelley smashed me in practice, and
Not only do you look amazing, it's just a great photo of you. You look beautiful, but there's a technique there being used. See how you're in focus. And
do I
you're-
look athletic in that picture?
No, you. Yes. There's some camera movement there, a subtle camera movement that keeps you sharp but blurs the crowd. That is not an easy technique. I mean, that's like you should walk down to Dave Ray's office and see like, hey, I want the original of that,
Yeah, I love it. I love
and
it
have
so
it blown
much.
up and put in Kelley's house.
No.
Motivation. Like, true story though, if you're looking for a gym to train at, our gym
Aha!
has produced 3 female games athletes.
Heck yeah,
Uh,
and really really awesome regional competitors too.
yeah.
Who's the third one?
So Alexandra Latrans from
Mhm.
2014
Wow.
she moved to Gambit. I met her through a sponsor, moved to the gym, trained, made it her first year going individual,
Do you have any sponsors, Jessica?
and then left.
I do. Driven Nutrition for supplements.
She can't hook you up with Reebok, or Austin can't.
I don't know. We
She's
haven't
on that like
haven't really
she's
had that
on the list.
conversation.
Noble train.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a Noble fan.
Um,
I'm not signed, so it's not official.
How old are you?
26.
Okay, so Kelley is
Old.
33.
7 years older.
34 next month.
Wow.
Almost masters.
Are you gonna go Masters, Austin?
Probably not.
Same reason Dan doesn't go. Same reason.
I think if I'm going to compete master, we'll just keep the team together. Yeah. I don't like that term master.
Who's the oldest Masters athlete? Do you guys know? No, sorry. Who's the oldest team athlete at the games? Do you know?
Oh,
Mm-mm.
probably somebody we wouldn't know.
Like, you think there's someone 50?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old was the woman on Mayhem's team?
She was 40, but that was 2 years ago.
Okay, different now.
Lauren.
Who's the oldest individual competitor at the games this year?
Josh.
Sam?
I think Josh. Oh, maybe Sam or Josh Bridges. Josh Bridges is 34, 33, 34.
So Sam's older because would have qualified for Masters.
Who? What should I ask Josh? Is there anything you guys want me to ask Josh when he's in here?
I think
besides invite him to work out at your gym to move to St. Louis.
Yeah, so he is from St. Charles. So tell him that when he's in Missouri, he needs to come train with us.
Come home.
Or invite us to get his ass kicked.
What? Are you kidding me? Did he post that?
We're looking at a throwback of Josh
Humble.
Bridges.
Dude, he looks older there than he does now. I love how you liked it.
The chin grab and the frosted tips.
Oh my God.
Classic.
And he looks 6'4".
He does look enormous in that picture.
Yeah, look at his hands. He looks like Tony Robbins. Jeez Louise.
Oh, man.
What else we got? Let's dig around in Josh's thing a little bit and make a few comments. 9/11, doing his part, hitting that stupid green.
Can I tell you
thing.
my favorite Josh Bridges moment?
Yes, please.
At the games, we're talking, warming up, doing something, and they're calling the teenage boys to line up, calling all teenage boys. And Josh Bridges goes, like that kind of sounds a little perverted. Teenage boys, please line up. Teenage boys, please line up. Teenage boys, get in the van. Get in the van.
Right.
That was my favorite moment with him.
How many different hospitals have you since you've been a contractor? Just one?
Just one.
Just
yep.
the one. Okay.
So the way I make it work is you can't be at the same place for more than a year. You have to take time off or go somewhere else, and then you can come travel back to that location. So from regionals to the games, I just took time off to get ready for the games. All year I was putting money in my savings to hopefully maybe qualify for the games, and then I ended up doing it. So I had that money to live off of. That is me.
Yeah, I wouldn't
at my fittest.
Are you bleeding on your shoulders?
No, just so jacked.
Those are shadows.
Those are striations in my
Look like you got in a fight with Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are you in?
Oh no, this is I don't. So whenever a photographer posts a picture, I try not to. I don't edit them because I feel like that's offensive to the photographer.
Wow, that's obviously.
So Mr. Trey Witt, if he put
very considerate
structure and sharpen on that picture, it's not of me.
How are you as a nurse? Are you like really friendly? Are you stern? Are you?
She doesn't have a stern bone in her body.
Are you stern?
It could be wrong in the hospital.
So in the hospital, it's a little different. The ER, especially downtown St. Louis, will make you very cold-hearted.
Right.
You've got a lot of people that don't belong in the ER that come in and expect you to bend over backwards for them. So it's a frustrating job, and you've got to learn how to stay professional. But I love taking care of people. I love being kind to people.
Is that why you became a nurse?
Became a nurse because I was discouraged against becoming a doctor, and physical therapy was too boring for me. So nursing was the next stage. So yeah, it's been an awesome career. I think my coworkers would tell you that I'm a pretty happy, warming.
But
person.
I mean, in the hospital as a nurse, you're not. You're stern.
There's no bullshit.
Yeah.
If that's what you're asking. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I let slide what's appropriate to slide, but if there's something not cool going on, I'm not afraid to say that's not okay. I love nursing students too. I love teaching nursing students, and if they do something wrong, I love pulling them aside to teach them, hey, like this is what happened, this is what should have happened, this is how we fix it.
And do you like being directed, like you like direct communication like that too?
I love being a nurse because I follow the doctor's orders. I don't have to prescribe, I don't have to diagnose. I'm very much, you tell me what to do and I will make sure that job gets done above and beyond your expectations.
Give me an example of like some bullshit you won't tolerate.
Oh man.
Especially
as far as a patient or
patient. I want to hear some disciplinary like patient shit.
So
like, what if someone's yelling? Like when you said there's like, I know those ERs have the regulars.
Mm-hmm, yeah, frequent flyers we call them. So we have like a drunken row. It's a row of blue recliners where all the drunk people, because drunk people, bystanders will call, hey, this guy's wandering the streets. EMS brings him in, he's wasted or high on heroin. And so if we had a guy the other night that was drunk and he was just wandering the ER. So and going by the exit door where he can leave, which is not safe for him to leave. So I go up to him, I say, bud, this isn't gonna fly. You're here, you need to be here, you need to sit in this chair, you need to put we put all of the drunks in red scrubs, paper scrubs, so what they're identified as intoxicated, and we need to keep an eye on them. You need to put your Merlot scrubs on, you need to sit here, and you need to be quiet, and if you have an issue with that, you need to let me know.
Are they really called Merlot scrubs? Oh, shit.
Pun intended there.
Yeah, all right, good.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're nice until someone gives you a reason not to be nice, and then you say, no, there's a line that you're crossing. And
do they ever need to be zip tied to those chairs, like security comes? Or?
We do have restraints,
You do?
but we just have to do all the documentation if we use the restraints.
So I come in, I'm high on heroin. You let me sit in the chair and ride that shit out, or do you put something in me that brings me
So
back?
I give you Narcan.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So and they're actually and then I assess, hey, Savan, you just did heroin. We do have Narcan, which reverses heroin.
Thank you.
Would you like us to send you home with some so your family can give you Narcan next time you decide to shoot up? It's insane.
And do they take it?
Yeah. It's nuts.
Does that just bring you right back right away? Wow.
Right back.
Purposely shoot up across certain parts of town to get an ambulance to bring them to the other side of town because they know where the hospital is relative to where they are?
Possibly so. So if you overdose on heroin and you're unconscious, you go to the closest hospital. Unfortunately, that usually is my hospital because of the part of town that we're in. So then
Have you done heroin?
I have never done heroin. No. And so what's interesting is when you give the Narcan, it's street drugs. So you don't know necessarily what you're dealing with. So they have to stay and wait. It's 1 to 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours that they have to stay in the chair to make sure that the Narcan doesn't wear off before the drugs wear off, because the Narcan can wear off and then the drugs kick back in and then they are overdosed and die again. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you could overdose and die again even though you didn't take any more.
People come in dead and we give them Narcan and they come back to life.
And do you tell them when they come back, like, yo, I just saved your life?
And they're usually not very kind because they're pissed you killed their high. Yeah.
You ever done one of these?
Yeah.
You have done this?
Yeah, there's Narcan. There's Narcan or epi shots. Like if a person's having an anaphylactic reaction, you give them epi. My first time was at a...
Do you do it like that? Like put a little red dot on them and aim and shit?
No.
Is it that fast?
No, it takes a second. So they're usually not, they have a heartbeat, but they're not breathing usually when they come in overdosed. And they're usually pale and their family's freaking out because they're unresponsive. So you bring them in the trauma bay, you give them Narcan, continue to kind of sternal rub them, resuscitate them. You're usually yelling at them, saying to wake up.
Let me ask you this question. So I had a friend in college and he died on heroin.
Mm-hmm.
And the story was, and I went to school at UC Santa Barbara, and he was already out of school, but he hung out and he was around. And the story was that he was in an avocado orchard and he climbed up into an avocado tree, shot himself up and was and nodded off.
Mm-hmm.
And that a branch got pushed up against, I guess, this
carotid artery probably.
Yep, I guess that one.
Or his airway. It depends on how, I don't know.
And that's what killed him.
That's crazy.
Is that possible?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Like that doesn't sound far-fetched to you?
Well, it probably wasn't the carotid artery because they always say when you check a pulse in your neck, only check on one side. You don't want to do both sides because that's when you occlude both arteries that supply blood to your brain.
Ooh.
So don't do that. Just one side.
Or do both sides.
Or do both sides.
In appropriate situations.
It probably was a tree branch that occluded his airway maybe. I don't know.
Okay. But it doesn't sound far-fetched.
No.
Okay, so that was the story we heard over and over and over.
I mean, I don't think so.
Wow.
I don't know. Because if he was already respiratory, like depressed, and then you got a tree branch kind of on your throat a little bit, it could definitely make it hard to breathe. And
you lost any friends from heroin?
Acquaintances.
That's probably more honest for me to say acquaintance.
You have friends that have done it? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Not done it, died.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lost
No.
any family or
believe
friends
so.
from the
Although
big age?
Kelley's gym is right in the middle of downtown, and she's had friends not friends,
Acquaintances.
people, homeless people outside the gym. She's like, Jess, some guy had a needle in his arm.
Yeah.
Passed
We're
out in the
downtown
car.
St. Louis. Well, we're like a mile outside downtown, but we get.
Did you pull it out?
No, I was terrified. And there was a group of people, but he was just like hanging out of a car.
Are you sure it wasn't a Halloween costume or like
it was the middle of the summer.
Candid camera.
Anything is possible in the city of St. Louis.
The Arch is an amazing place to do 4th of July. Have you guys done that?
No.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
like I've been in the city.
Have you
before,
done it?
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool is the Arch?
The Arch is amazing.
It's an amazing structure.
Yeah, and that whole scene there on the 4th of July, I was there one 4th of July, and they had opened up the fire hydrants. They don't really do that on the West Coast, or I've never seen that. And the kids were playing, and the fire department was out.
When was this?
Oh, 4 years ago.
Oh, huh. I'm not familiar.
5 years ago, 6 years ago. Last 10 years is a blur. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it went even better than I thought.
Yeah.
Sweet. There's certainly some interesting things.
Thank you for sharing so much.
Yeah.
We never even talked about the team series. And that you guys are about to go downstairs and fucking kill yourselves.
That's right. They'll get that.